Imagine a world without wheels. Imagine how difficult it would be for you to go to school or work every day if there were no wheels. In fact, the wheel is considered to be the greatest invention of mankind. This is because it has revolutionized the lifestyle of human beings. So, what makes a wheel so special? Well, it is this round shape of the wheel that makes it so special, and this round shape is called a circle. Now, can you tell me a circle which you see several times a day? Think about it. Iris and pupil of human eye, coins, a smiley face. One must have used this at least once a day when you text someone. Next example, a wall clock. It is the best example to understand more about circles. Carefully observe the movement of a second half of a clock. The second hand of a clock starts from one position, rotates and comes back to its initial position. And in doing so, you will see that the path formed by the movement of a second hand is a circle. Now notice a few things. The one end of the second hand is fixed and the other end is free to move. Also, the length of the second hand is fixed. If you take any point on the clock, it is at a fixed distance from the fixed point. So, the movement of the second hand traces a circular path which is a collection of points which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point. So, let's see what exactly the circle is and study in detail because we encounter them so frequently. Let's go to the circle definition. The set of all the points in a plane which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point in the plane. Unlike other shapes, circles are not made up of line segments. Let's see the regions of a circle. Regions of a circle can be classified into three parts. First part, interior part, which is the inside region of the circle. Second, the circle itself. And the third, exterior part, which makes the outside region of the circle. Also, remember the circle and its interior make up the circular region. Now, let's see what are the parts of a circle. A circle has many parts. Center, radius, its diameter, its circumference, chord, arc, segment and sector. Let's see one by one. Center of a circle. The fixed point is called the center of the circle. Circle center does not lie on the circle. It lies in the interior region of the circle. Next, radius of a circle. What is the radius of a circle? It is the line segment joining the center and any point on the circle. The radius of a circle is the one way to measure the size of a circle. It is always indicated by the small letter r. Here, OP is a line segment with endpoint O at the circle center and endpoint P on the circle itself. Now, we should know how to name a circle. We simply name a circle by its center and radius. A circle with center O and radius r is named as C of O, R. Right? Now, let's see what is the diameter of a circle. Now, extend the radius of the circle OP in the other direction to reach point S on the circle. What do you get? A straight line from one edge of the circle to the other edge, which is nothing but a diameter. So, if you have two radii together, they can form a straight line across a circle. So, the length of the line through the center that touches 2 points on the edge of the circle is called diameter. It is the distance across the entire circle. Instead of identifying that as two separate radii, we can simply call it as a diameter of a circle POS or simply PS. Right? Now, the diameter of the circle, how it is indicated? It is indicated by the lowercase letter d. Now, let's see what is the diameter formula. The diameter is equal to 2 times the radius of the circle. Here is the diameter formula. The diameter d is equal to 2 times r. One can obtain the radius of the circle from this formula if we know the diameter. That is, r is equal to half times diameter. Now let's see what is the circumference of a circle. For polygons, the perimeter is the sum of the lengths of their sides. Circles have a perimeter too, but we give it a special word, that is circumference. The circumference of a circle is the distance around the circle, or it is the length of the complete circle. It is given by the equation circumference is equal to pi into diameter, that is pi into d, replacing d by 2r. So what we get? Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. What is pi? Pi is equal to 3.14. Right? Now let's see the next part, that is the chord of a circle. The chord of a circle can be defined as the line segment joining any two points on the circumference of the circle. It should be noted that the diameter is the longest chord of a circle which passes through the center of the circle. Now a question arises. How many diameters does a circle have? Any idea? Any chord that goes through the center of the circle is a diameter. So one can draw an infinite number of diameters in any circle, right? Now let's see what is an arc of a circle. A piece of a circle between two points is called an arc. Look at the pieces of a circle between two points A and B. You find that there are two pieces, one longer piece and the other smaller. The longer one is called the major arc and the shorter one is called the minor arc. When A and B are 2 points of a diameter, then the both arcs are equal and each one is called a semicircle. Now let's move on to the segment of a circle. The region between a chord and either of its arc is called a segment of a circle. Here also you will find two segments, which are major segment and minor segment. What is a minor segment and a major segment? The segment containing the minor arc is called the minor segment, whereas the segment containing the major arc is called as the major segment. Now let's see the next part, that is sector of a circle. Imagine you sit down to a delicious hot pizza, but it's not cut. You cut away a single piece as shown in the figure. The portion of the crust in the cut piece is much smaller than the rest of the crust. And that smaller portion is the minor sector. The larger part, the remaining circumference, is the major sector. So now let's define what a sector is. The region between an arc and the two radii joining the center to the end points of the arc is called a sector. Like segments, you find that minor arc corresponds to minor sector and the major arc corresponds to major sector. So let's have a recap of what we have learned in this section. A circle has many parts. We have discussed each one in detail. Let's have a quick recap. The fixed point is called the center of the circle. Radius is the line segment joining the center and any point on the circle. The length of the line through the center that touches 2 points on the edge of the circle is called diameter, and it is the distance across the entire circle. And now what is the circumference? We have seen the circumference of a circle is the distance around the circle, or it is the length of the complete circle. Now what is a chord? The chord of a circle can be defined as the line segment joining any 2 points on the circumference of a circle. And a piece of a circle between 2 points is called an arc. The region between a chord and either of its arcs is called a segment of the circle. And what is a sector? The region between an arc and the two radii joining the center to the endpoints of the arc.